And lastly, before we close, real quick, it's Supreme Day.
It's Supreme dead. Yes. Even with the article summed it up nicely. Yes, Supreme's dead. For all intents and purposes, Supreme is dead. It's not what it used to be, but it has blossomed into something different. It's not necessarily. It's just Supreme in its old form. It's not meant to serve the skateboard hip hop crew anymore. It's meant to serve anybody
I
that got the money to pay to buy it.
I think um when and this is kind of wrong now, but Amy is trying to be Ralph, but it was for a second it was turning into to Supreme. Or I'm sorry, it was turning into Kith, and Kith was turning into Supreme. Now Kith is just too great now, but they do their novelty shape. And then obviously Amy is like a Kith underling slash Ralph Lauren thing. But Supreme, we all kind of known it for. I mean, I don't know if it's dead, it's probably been there. Like I don't know if it died in 2023. Like maybe people really like the Louis Vuitton Supreme shit. It just kind of looked like fugazi shit to me, and it's not bad, but it's just like it just kind of looked like
Well, that's
if
I never got the allure of the Supreme beyond the box shirts that said Supreme. You know, like outside of the everyday items on the dance, once they started getting to like these giant brands and everything like that, it was just kind of like, well, this looks fake because it's exactly what you would see at the flea market. You would see the dumbass Damier print with the Supreme shit over top of it. And it's just like I don't want to
yeah,
engage in this.
like culture, it's weird. I don't mind Supreme. I have a Supreme headband.
All right.
Um, I like that they're like they don't like price you out. Like they're so big and they're still selling $40 t-shirts.
Mm-hmm.
Just like which is really cool. Like obviously if you can get to it, then you can get to it. It does seem like it's easier to get to it now, and they're making things a little bit more accessible. You can I literally feel like every week there's a Supreme Air Force One restock. Every single week I see one, and I would think that they would be like hit you over the head. They're only 118, so I'm like, okay, so you're paying $8 for the box logo, which is fair. You would probably see a sticker there for $8 because their Air
Right.
Force Ones are 110 now. So I'm like, okay, maybe I'd get a Supreme Air Force One just because I like white Air Force Ones a lot. But yeah, it never really occupied a lot of space in my brain, so I could care less. But I did see that Hypebeast was getting a little bit of drawback in the comment section, or I'm sorry, High Sobriety maybe that was what it was. People were like, High Sobriety puts out all these stupid ass carousels, and they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And I was like, they nail it a lot of the
The
time.
the people that are commenting on that are just mad because they're still buying Supreme. Like it's because you're a Supreme's audience now.
Yeah.
But who we're talking about, the audience that this article is for, completely understands that this shit is dead and been dead. Um, it's just kind of, and we were talking about this in the group chat. Um, Streetwear is now getting to that point where, in the same way that hip hop is kind of, I guess,
Ruined.
over. We're kind of over it now with hip hop. But it's the same thing that we asked 30 years into hip hop. Is this shit dead?
Yeah.
And no, it's not. It's just a broader audience, and it's meant to serve more people. So that being said, if you need to serve more people, you have to water down the thing that made it great to begin with. You do, because you have to stretch it. How you stretch anything, if you need to, you dilute it. You know, if you need to stretch something, you dilute it. You add some water to it, you get it stretched out, and now
Put
everybody
some
can have it.
acetone in the dope, man.
You know,
Step on it.
so it's
And the
it's
brick's
just
still going up.
It's just is what it is, and it's just the natural cycle of things. So now we get to see where Supreme can go from here, because now it's just becoming that thing that's a fixture in our society and in our culture. It's interesting to see though, high fashion brands when they switch leadership, when they get a new CD or somebody, we get excited because of the new energy that's going to be brought into that. We're not at that case on the streetwear level yet. When the head leaves, we're like, fuck it. And the people that stay, either you really fuck with it, um, or you kind of just hype beast.
But I will say this, and this is great. I really want to kind of revisit this next week about streetwear dying. because that's something that I think is in depth. But I will say this: I don't know how many of the streetwear brands can actually survive after, and maybe this is just my own ignorance, but I don't really see them switch leadership unless they've gotten massive. Like obviously Tremaine Emory is at
Bingo.
Supreme, so there's that. But like, I feel like if the leadership dies of the brand of the streetwear brand, because all these brands are less
Bingo.
than 20 years old, it just dies. So, um, I personally have seen a lot of dope shit from Supreme, and it not it revolving around like a red cup with a Supreme logo, but then they just have shit that's like toothpaste and hair wall clippers and
My nigga.
surfboard, and like okay, I it's like there is dope shit on this side, and maybe people who don't give a fuck about Supreme won't know it, but all you see is a Supreme Vespa, and you're like, why the fuck would I want a Vespa with a Supreme logo or a Supreme leg sleeve that J.R. Smith was wearing that one time, I think. And it's like, why the fuck? So yeah, um, ironically enough, I'm going to Los Angeles next week or this week, and I'm going to Supreme store. So as much as I'm talking about that, I have not been to the Supreme
I can
store.
see it firsthand.
When in Rome, I will leave with something to say that Robert was in Los Angeles. So I think that's